Hello and welcome back to another video, and this time I'm gonna try to make data tables in using Flet, which is a framework of Python. So let's get to it. I want to go full screen first. Okay, I'm gonna open up Visual Studio Code. Alright, hold on. Go project. Let me. I need to check some stuff first. Alright. Oh, I think it's stuck. I don't see anything down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new file and then save it as a Python file. Trying to make data tables in Flet. Hold on. I'm going to put that in here. And before I do that, I just want to check something out on the internet because I just need to read a little bit more about data tables. Data tables in Flet. Yeah, okay. So these are the data tables. I'm gonna try to make these. And did I save that file? Alright, I did that. Okay. Why do I not see this? Oh, that's a to-do list. Collapse folders. Outline. Timeline. I do not see the file in the Explorer. for some reason. So let's try to fix that. Let us try to fix the file in the Explorer. Come on. Well, this is so weird. As you can see over here that I am not able to rename this file. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, or not, I'm not doing it how it's supposed to be. So, so, this is so weird. Alright, so I'm gonna get to start making the data table. So I'm gonna import Flet, and what I want to do next is define a function, a full function, in which I'm gonna make a page, but that can be accessed through the Flet library. I'm accessing this page from the Flet module. I'm gonna create an alias so I don't have to type ft.page every time. I'm gonna put a column over here because it's the start of the function. What I'm gonna do next is I need to understand what I want to do first. So I know that I need to run this, so I'm gonna come out of the function and I'm gonna create this ft.app from the Flet module. As you can see over here, this is the Flet. Come on already. Why is it taking so much time? Yeah, you see, Flet module. For the Flet module, I'm gonna use the app function. This is going to start my app, but in order to do that, I need to pass the created function. I need to pass the created function into this. And that is going to start my app. And you see the error is gone. Why do I still have an error here? Indented block. Yeah, it's because this function is empty, right? I don't want it to do anything for now. So I'm just gonna write pass. So you can see that it's gonna run. There it is. The program is running, a simple function that has a simple program that has a simple function. This is the window. This is the page that I tried to create. It did create the page. And now I want the function to do something, so I'm going to raise pass and I'm going to write page.window. I'm going to access the window property. See window property. And I want the window, and this is the width. Another property. I want the width to be 500. I'm going to start with 500, alright? And then I want the height to be something as well. I'm going to set it to 500 as well. Let's keep it to that for now. And if I run it, I don't think it's going to change, even if I run it. You see, it's still not changing. So something weird I noticed here while I've been using Flet is that if you don't put something inside, like a text or widget or anything, it's not going to change the window size. So in order to do that, since I'm creating a data table, but first let me tell you how this can be fixed. It takes a value, so I can just write anything. This will fix the window dimensions. Let me run it. That should resize the window. That should resize the window. Okay. It ran, but it's not. There it is. Oh, it didn't fix the window. It's still the same size. Hold on. Oh, okay. This text, this is a class. This class is actually in memory, but it's not loading on the screen. In order for me to put it on the screen, I need to put it inside page.add. That's gonna put it on the page, alright? Okay, so now I think the dimensions should be fixed. Here it is. It is now 500 by 500. The dimension has been fixed. But since I'm not gonna create a text, right? I don't need a text right now. I need to create a data table. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a data table over here, and I'm creating a data table, and I'm gonna put stuff inside it. Obviously, it's a data table, so it needs to have rows and columns. The first one I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a column inside this. Hold on, let me see the stuff. So it takes columns and then a list. Alright, so columns. Okay, columns is equal to, and then put these brackets, and then No, no, no. Columns. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold on. The columns, it takes the columns as a list. So that means, okay. And then there's going to be a data column, but I can't access it right like this. That data column, all right, there it is. There we go. Now inside the data column, I can add a label. I can add controls, all right. I can add controls, which is a label. All right, so first what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add something. It takes a label, numeric, tooltip, unsort, data, any. What if I just add ft.text? So if I add this, it takes a value. No, no, no. Let me. I'm gonna put a label. I need a label. Does it have a label here? List. All right. All right. I'm looking for a label. No, it does not have this. Uh, is it ft.label? No, 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 it's not. ft.text. And then I have the ft. I need to figure out textile. There's so much this thing has value. Value is going to be. The value is going to be. Hold on. Let me just call it the name. All right. Also, I want to test this out. Test out some stuff. So I have the columns. It's gonna be one column, and then I'm gonna put some rows. So the rows are going to be empty. The rows are going to be empty. And I just want to, so let me just test it out. I'm going to put all of this in a variable called the data table. This is the data table. And then what I'm going to do is, after creating the data table, I'm going to add it. I'm going to add it to, hold on, the data table. So this is a variable. I put the entire data table inside the variable, and I'm going to pass it to the, this is a function, add. You see this? It's a function, it's a method. I'll pass a variable into this, so it should render the data table. I should see a data table with a column called name. Let's see if that happens. Okay, it's working for now. It is working. See data table. The rows are empty for now. But if I do want to add something, I can just type, hold on. Let me see what stuff we can add. Let's see the data cell. It's gonna be the first data cell, and I'm gonna add text is equal to, okay, value is equal to, so I'm just gonna type Paul and Control S, and then let's just run it. So there should be Paul under the column name. Hold on. Must contain only data row instances. Oh, okay. Data row instances. Let us try to read and understand the error. Rows must contain only data row instances. You know, instances, objects. So rows must contain only objects of data row. Objects of data row. I think it was something like cell. I think this is it. we put this inside the list. And then I guess we're good to go. So maybe this will work. No, this isn't working. Okay. Let's work this out. Let's just erase all of this. And let's see what stuff we can put inside this. So data cell, it takes content, and then we add a control. Okay. Content is here, and then we add a control. So that control can be ft dot. And now can we add this? Ft dot text. And that has a value is equal to something, so all. So control S, if I run this, is this gonna work? Content is something that we were missing. Only contain data row instances. Data row instances. Maybe I'm still missing something. Content is equal to cell, no. T dot data row. Ft dot data row. Data row instances, okay. Alright. Oh, okay. Ft dot data row. Okay, this is where I was wrong. This is gonna be data row. Content is equal to, so I think this should work. Let me just close all this. So if I open this up, put the bracket, what is this? Why is it not working? There it is. So now I need to add cells, and then it's gonna be a list. Cells, list, and then data cell, okay. Cells equals this. And then you add these. It's gonna be a list, and then ft.data cell, okay. And then inside this, I'm gonna add some text. So probably this should work now. Value is going to be oh. So let's try to run it. Here it is. It works. It works. So rows, and then you create a list because of these brackets. And inside the list, which we were talking about the first list, we have the data row. So in a list, we have a data row, and inside the data row, we have cells. So you need to visualize this. Let me also try to visualize this. I created a row. Okay, and this is a parameter. You see that what we need to add here was list and then data row. So first we add the data row, and then is inside we add. So we added the data row inside a list. Hold it. Okay. I get it. So the list can be inside, the data row can be inside a list. So this data row is inside a list. And then what do we have? And then in the data row, we have cells. Okay, and then we have the data row. And the data cell can be, we have a cell, and the data cell can be inside a list. You see the data cell inside a list, which is this. And it should be equal to cells. Alright, this makes sense. Data cell can be inside a cell, inside a list, which should be equal to cells. Should be equal to cells. Alright. Okay, so now let's try to visualize this. We have a list, right? And inside the list we have a data row. I think it's probably a row. So a list, and let me visualize a row inside a list. So that's the first item of the list, which is a row, the first row. And inside the row we have cells. And inside the cell we have a list. So we have the first list in which we have a row, and inside the row we have a cell, and inside the cell we have a list. That is so cool. And inside the list we have a data cell, right? And inside the data cell we have the text, is equal to Paul. So this is so cool. Paint. Open up Paint. We're gonna. There it is. Okay, so now let me just create rows is equal to list. So let me create a list. So this is a list, right? This is the big list. And then we have data row inside it. Okay, I'm gonna create a row. So this is gonna be the data row. Well, let me change the color and change. This is the data row. And inside the data row we have cells. Okay. This is a data row. Hold it. Let me just use this. This is a data row. And inside the data row we have cells. So let me create my first cell. Change it to. Okay, this is data row. So the first cell is this. Let me make the data cell list bigger. Okay, so first, this is the list, which is this. And inside the list, hold it. Inside the list we have the data row. Now let me. No. This is so wrong. Hold it. Listen. I was going around over there. So this is the list, which is this brackets. The brackets represent the list. And inside the list we have data row. This is the data row. And inside the row we have cells. So let me create the cell. Okay, so this is the cell inside the data row. What is this? And that cell is equal to list. The cells has a list inside it. This is a cell, it has a list inside it. So what I'm gonna have to do is, it has a list. So let me create a list. Alright, so for the list I'm using, the brackets. What is wrong with this? It's not letting me. Okay. What is this? Do I have to use this? Alright, let's just use that. Let's try to make it a bit bold. What if I just use this? Yeah, much better. So inside the cell, right, which is this, we have a list. And inside that list, we have a data cell. Wow, another data cell. So let's try to create the data cell. This is a data cell. Inside the list right now, we have a data cell. And inside the data cell, we have text. Okay. So inside the data cell, we have text. Let me just color it with something else. Can I zoom in? How do I zoom in? How do I zoom in on Paint? In Paint. Crop, resize. Maybe it's resize? No, it is not. Okay, there we go. Let me just delete that. So where were we? And now we were the text. We need to create the text. So inside the data cell, we have a text. What is this? This is the container for the text. It shows the text. And then we have a value inside it, which is equal to Paul. So I'm going to write some text. It's going to say, this is going to say, hello, there's a value inside me. And that is Paul. There we go. Home and view. Wasn't there something to move stuff? Paste. Select. Yeah, here it is. Rectangular selection. You know what? Hold it. Freeform selection. Okay. Alright, there we go. So the text, which is the value of the text is Paul. And Paul is sitting inside the ft.text. Paul is inside ft.text. So you get the idea now, right? This is the whole thing. And if I just zoom out, this is the original list. So let's continue. Continue trying to make whatever I'm trying to make. Data table. Alright. Now what I want to do next is I want to add another value to the data call, another value to the data table, specifically in the columns. I'm gonna add just simply adding another data column. So ft.data column. There we go. And inside the data column, I'm gonna have something. So here we have an error that says each visible data row must contain exactly as many. Each visible data row must contain exactly as many visible data cells as there are visible data columns. So we've got two data columns, but we've got, I think, one row, one data row. I mean, we've got one element. Hold on, I don't get this. So there's two columns and there's one row. So that column needs to have a row inside it, if I understand that correct. I'm trying to understand a hierarchy here, which I'm not getting. It's not making sense. It's not making sense for me. So if I just create another data row, hold on. So we need to test this out, right? C dot data row. There we go. And then the brackets. Oh my gosh, this thing is on in front of it. And then we create a cell, and then ft.data cell. ft.data cell, and then ft.text. Let me add a value in it. So the age, it's okay, it's the age. Let me just put it at 40. All right, there we go. So now I think the error should go away. Keep in mind the track of the brackets. This is the square bracket, the round bracket, square bracket, round bracket, round. Okay, you get the idea. And everything inside it is inside this data table. So now I have two columns, and they're inside this columns. But I also have two rows. Because this is what I'm trying to understand. If there's two columns, right? A single row can fit all the elements. I just need one row for no matter how many columns I have. I just need one data row. Why do I need two data rows to fix this? Isn't that going to add another row beneath it? Let's test this. Oh, you see, there's still a problem. There's two data columns. Data row must contain exactly as many visible data cells. Data row. So there's something wrong with this. There's still something wrong with this. So do I just add another cell? Is that it? If I just remove the data row? Let's try to remove the data row, and here we go. Okay, this bracket for the cell, bracket for data row, bracket for the rows. Maybe if we just add another cell, hold it. You know what? What if I just add another, like, hold on. If this is making sense, you know? Look. I think I get it where I'm wrong. I totally get where I'm wrong. Where I'm going wrong is over here. I add a comma and I add another, hold it. I just add another data cell. Hold on, not here. Oh, I get it. I get it where I was going wrong. I totally get it now. I totally get it. I need to add another data cell. Of course. So my theory was correct. I don't need to add another row. I just need to add another cell because there's two columns, right? The second column is going to take this cell. Value is equal to, so this is going to be the age. You're going to 40. All right. So if I test this out, the error should be gone. Oh, I wrote date cell. All right. Okay. Now let's test out this theory. So this data cell should be under the second column, under this data column. So the theory was correct. So this thing is just one entire data row. You see this? It's just one row, and the first cell is representing the first column, which is this, and second cell is going to correspond to this data column. So let's just add more stuff. So for now, I have the name and the age, name and the age. Okay. Okay, name, age, and profession. Okay, so I've created another column called profession. Based on my current knowledge, I'm just using value. I don't know how to use label. Yeah. What is this? So again, the same error, because each visible data row must contain exactly as many visible data cells as there are visible data columns. So we have 3 data columns, and we have 1 data row, but I've got 2 data cells. So I need 3 data cells. So that is going to accommodate the third column. Let's fix that. fc.data cell. There we go, data cell. And let's just add a text. Let's just add some text, give it a value. Let's just call the person an engineer. And now the error should be gone because this data cell is corresponding to this data column. And the profession of the person is an engineer. All right. So there we go. So we have a cool data table. Um, so that's how we create a data table in Flet, which is a Python framework. And we can make some cool stuff with this. We can tweak around with this. So what I want to do next is I want to add a I'm just going to add a text field, ft.text field, and that's it. Assign, I'm gonna, because I want, it's not, so this is in memory now. It's not on the page. In order to do that, I need to add page.add. I want to keep the stuff clean, so I'm gonna add the text field in a variable called text field. Let's just call it the text field. Assign it. So now that this is the actual text field, and it's inside a variable now. Let me give some space. So let's just add the text field. The text field. No, no, no. I also want to learn about how the passing of the control works in Flet, and then you create a. So what this is going to do, so this is how it should work. Create a text field, add it to the page, and then it's going to create a data table, and then add it to the page. So I'm going to have a text field on top of the data table. There it is, the text field. But right now, it's not doing anything except for taking the input, right? So what we can also do with this, something cool, is that I can leave this empty and I can enter data myself. You see this? Let me empty the rows. So I have rows over here which are currently empty. And what I can do, something cool, is that I can enter data myself, and under each column it's going to enter data. But in order to do that, I need to add something like an event. So what I can do is on submit. So this is a text field, and when someone presses enter, I want the data to go inside the data table, specifically in this part. This is where the data is going to be entered in a row. You remember the cells, right? So on submit, lambda. You can read about lambda. I don't know a lot about this, but what I do know is that you can use lambda to create quick functions, anonymous functions. You can call. So what I'm doing right here is, I think if you hover over this, what is this? It's not giving me anything. It's not telling me what this is. So lambda is basically, this is for creating anonymous functions, right? Quick functions. So I need to put a function name right here. I'm gonna call it submit the data for row. All right, and give it these brackets. So the problem right now is that it's not defined anywhere. There's no, this function has not been created actually. Okay, so remember these are the brackets for the text field. These are the brackets for this function. If you hover over this, it's gonna say it's not defined. It obviously has not been defined, right? But first I need to create my logic, make it correct. First one, I need to think of my logic, right? So whenever someone is going to press enter, like for example, look at this. If I run the program, I have the text field. I need to think of my logic. So if I type ABCD, let me just type Paul, and I press enter, right? On that entry, the name should go into this. Name should go into this. Upon enter. So that means this function should be called when I enter, right? So that's going to be the on submit. So let me think about it. Let me think about it. So if I define the function over here, submit the data for row. defining a function here. I forgot the keyword def, and I've also did not add these. Now, what this is going to do is it's going to take the value. Look at this, the text field. This is a variable. It has the actual text field inside it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take out the value from the text field. Whatever value it has, I'm gonna take that and take the value from the text field, and what do I do next? I guess let's just store it somewhere. Store it inside the value of text field. So when this function is called, what it's gonna do is it's gonna take the text field's value and store it inside this function, this variable, the value of text field. Okay, and then I just want to use a value. I want to put that value in. I need to put that value inside rows, right? I need to put the value inside rows. Let me think about it. So what I'm thinking is I need to add the append function somewhere. So I can do that somewhere here. After this value is stored, what if I just do it inside this? So like the data table dot append, no, dot rows. So what I'm doing is inside this data table, I'm accessing the rows. What is rows? You know, it's a parameter. I'm accessing rows, and then I'm gonna append some stuff. So what this is gonna do is it's gonna add some stuff to it. So I can just and then what I can just do is I can put the value of the text field. I'm sorry, the value of the text field over here. Append this, and also there's one more thing. I need to show it as a row, right? Also row is equal to, so this is an empty list because I need to show the value as a list. Hold on, what happens if I do this? If I write like Paul, so it's not doing anything. It's actually not doing anything. The value of the text field. What if I just store it inside also a row, which is an empty list, also a row, an empty list, and then put that also a row inside this. No, wait, hold on. This is not being used, I think. It's not accessed. Okay, it's not accessed. So what for that? There is a simple solution. Non-local set also row to non-local inside this, and then just use it. So this is the same thing. So now this should work. Basically what I did, I was created a variable, assigned it a list. This variable now holds a list. I made a non-local, so this thing can be accessed everywhere in the program. It's not just local to this function. It can be used everywhere. Then what I did was I put the value of the text field inside this list, and then the data table, which is this. This is data table. I access the rows and append this value. So this should work according to my theory. So if I type Paul, it actually did not work. No, this is not working. So this is a big fail. This does not work. I need to think about the things that I might be doing wrong. Alright, so my logic is completely broken. This is not working. So where might I be going wrong? Where can I be going wrong? I do not know. Dot rows. Hmm. So I called the onSubmit function here, which calls this. It takes a value, puts it inside also row. Maybe if I put it inside ft.text, value is equal to this. Is it gonna work now? Okay, and put the brackets here. Let's try now. Okay, that did not work. That did not work. Need to figure out what's going wrong here. What if I create rows is equal to ft dot data C dot data row, and then the data row takes cells. Data cell can be inside a list. Okay, cells. Cells is equal to this, and then data cell. Data cell. There it is. And just put a text. Value is equal to. Okay. Value is equal to something. So obviously, also a row. So let's see if this works. I use the data row stuff. So Paul, that did not work. List out append takes no keyword argument. So there is so much to figure out. The manual entry using the text field is not working. It is not working. Submit to data for row. I take the value, put it inside a variable, which is list. I don't know, this should work. I don't know why it's not working. Alright, since I am totally stuck here and I don't know what's going on, what I'm going to do is paste my old code. So I'm trying to add values to my columns through the text field, but it's not the values and entered. Yeah, let's see what ChatGPT has to say for this. Let's try to understand where I'm going wrong. You're trying to add values to a data table from a text field, but the data table isn't showing the value because a row isn't actually being appended with data. Specifically, the line, the data table.row, isn't adding any data to a row. You need to create a row with the values from text field, and then append that row to the data table. So I got the logic here, or I might be going wrong. So this is the line where I'm going wrong. You need to create a row, okay, with the values from the text field. Let's do that then. Let's create a row. Create a row with the values of the text field, and then append that row to the data table. Okay. So I don't know how to do that, so let's just see how it can be done. Okay, this is correct. I create a list. This is also correct. Create a new row with values from text. Oh, okay. I need to put it inside. Oh my gosh. I just needed to put it inside a list. Hold it. Also, a row is already a list. Why do I need to put it inside another list? Well, let's see if this works. Put it. So you can see over here that also row is already a list, right? Why do I need to put the value inside another list? Doesn't make sense. I guess. Okay, let's just see how it goes. Create a new row to add to the table with a name in the first column. It's just a variable, and then I created, okay, a data row. Oh, okay. This is where I was, oh, I get it now. I get it. The new row. Okay. I totally get where I'm going wrong. I get it. I don't need to do this. No need. I get it now. I needed to create a data row. Okay. Row going inside the columns. ft dot data row. This is gonna be the data row. I totally get where I was going wrong. This is gonna be the data row. And inside the data row, okay, I need to go through the standard procedure. Create the cells, create a list. Inside this, I need to put a data cell. Dot data cell. And then content. Okay. Hold it. Data cell. Okay, I see that text. And then put some value in it. Is the value gonna be here? Also row. At the zero index. Okay. And then pass that row. Okay. I don't need the index number because it's just gonna be one value in the text field for now. I don't need to index. Alright, so this is, and then I just need to put this variable inside this. Okay. I get it. Copy this. Put this variable inside this. Data without rows out of pen. Also, I want to see, oh yeah, rows is, you see this? This is the empty list. Empty row. Page that update. And now I just need to update the page. This is all inside the function. Keep that in mind. We're currently working with this function. Page.update. Here we go. That's it. Okay, that was not a lot of changes, so let's see if this works. All. Now there's actually a problem. Each visible data row must contain exactly as many visible data cells there are visible data columns. Oh, okay. I get the problem here. So I need to create 3 more data cells. Alright, not a problem. So that's gonna be 3 values. Okay. ft.datacell. Okay, cells, list, and data cell. Alright. Create cells. And then a list. Okay, and now the data cell. No. Oh my gosh. Well, just the text. I just need a text. This is already a data cell. Okay. Text. Put a value in it. Also, there's something pretty interesting that we could use here. If you scroll this over here, use as the name of the first column. Okay. So for now, we're just gonna put everything inside all the columns. Same entry inside all the columns. Uh-oh. This is not cool. Let me close this. Click on this and there we go. Let's close this as well. Alright, okay. So all the cells are gonna have the same value basically. For now, they're gonna have the same value. Data cell, yeah. See that text. Takes a control. So value is going to be also row again. For now. We can work on this later. It's not a problem. Alright, so this should work. Now the error should be gone. If I type Paul over here, there we go. It works. So Paul got entered in all of the three columns because you know that each cell corresponds to the columns, right? What's weird here is that I needed to create an entirely different data row. I needed to create a new data row in order for the stuff to go inside. So this whole thing, you see this over here? Row going to the columns. This whole thing is a data row. It's a row, and where I'm sending it, I'm sending it inside the data table. I'm not only sending it inside a data table, I'm sending it to a particular part of the data table, which is the rows part. Look at this. Inside the data table, I have rows. So that whole row, that single row, this is a single row, is going inside the data table. It's going to fill this list. And this thing is also a list. So you got to take care of the hierarchy here. Figure out what's the list, where's the column, where's the brackets. You need to figure out this stuff. Also, another interesting thing here is that first I created this, also was empty. Initially, it was an empty list, right? Why is it a list? So that it can hold multiple variables. Right now, there are 3 variables, and all of them have been first. Look. Whatever I type in a text field is going to also row. So Paul goes into this first, second, and then third. So there's actually 3 variables right now. Now, isn't that like one variable? It's like text field has one value. It's getting stored inside also row. Also row is like one variable. But it's just one value. One value goes into this. But I have 3 cells. One value is going into 3 cells. So doesn't that mean 3 values? So, okay. It's actually just one value, okay. So when I type something into the text field, look, test this out. So, look here. If I try to type something here, like, I type Paul, right? This is one value. That value is going to go inside text field. This is text field that value. This is holding Paul. Paul goes inside also row, which is a list. Also row. So Paul, this list is now holding Paul, right? It's just one thing. But there are 3 data cells. That's the difference. Paul goes into this cell, second cell. Paul's going into 3 cells. And that thing is being stored inside a row going inside the columns. Row going inside the column. And then you know, there might be another problem. If this is a variable, it can only hold one variable, one thing at a time, right? So I think I need to make this a list as well. Well, I think when we get the error, we'll figure it out later. So this is, you get the idea, right? Paul. And then Parker. Each time it creates a new row. And whenever I press submit, this function is going to get called. It's going to create a row. This is one row. Submit it inside a data table. If I press enter again, another row is going to be created and submitted under, and then it's going to get submitted into the data table. So a new row every time I press submit. You get the idea. There's so much that can be done with this. Okay. So, now, what I'm gonna do is, what else can we do with this? Okay, so now, let's try to make a filter, right? So, what I'm gonna do is, well, hold on, let me just think. Let me think. Also, I want to clear the text field, but we can do that later. No worries. So, what I'm gonna do right now is create another list. Hold it. Um, First, I want to understand the execution of the program. A window with this height gets created, and then after that, this variable is created. Okay, this is entirely skipped. Variable is created. Okay, this is entirely skipped. Then a text field is created. Text field is added to the page. Okay, text field is added to the page. And then the data table is created. Oh, okay. So I want to create a filter, like whatever value we type, it gets stored into something and it goes into particular brackets, right? What I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna create a variable called holding the values in text field. Also, I want to rearrange everything first. Let me just rearrange everything. Windows created, and then this variable is created. Okay, this function is here. There are so many logics that I need to rearrange. So what I'm gonna do is, okay, holding values in text fields. Create empty list. It's gonna hold all the values in the text field, okay? And this is the scope of this, but I must add the definition, okay? Alright. So what I'm trying to do is I've created a variable that's a list so it can hold multiple values. And I've created another variable which is 0, which is equal 0. If it's equals 0, whatever value the user types is going to get stored into this. And this is obviously going to be true. And then I'm thinking about the logic after that. So if this is true, so nothing should happen. It should store the value in this. And then it should check for this. And then it should store that value in this. And then finally, if it's equal to 2, right? If it's equal to, store that final value here and then execute something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to append some data. Let me check over here. Only when it's the last step is it going to append something. Only when it is the last step. So what I'm going to do is, when it's the last step, I want it to append all the data to the data rows. Okay, also I want to do something else as well. Text field dot value dot split, call the split function. So what this should actually do is, hold it. It's not closed. Split. I don't need to do that actually because it's gonna be one by one. I don't need to do that. Second value gets stored and then third value gets stored. And after this, what it's gonna do is, I want to move this somewhere else. I'm gonna move this. Okay, that's a row. This is where the text field is, right? After the text field is created, add the data table. Right after that, add the data table, and then what I'm gonna do is, where's the appending stuff? Here it is. Take this, take this out of here. So what this is gonna do is it's only gonna store the value of the text field inside also row. We can access also row anywhere. What I'm gonna do is inside this function. So I've added the data table logic over here. Data append, I'm sorry. Also, I need to change some logic. So after this final step is executed, what it's gonna do is put the text value in this, so it holds all three values. Then what it's gonna do is create this variable, so store the data row. Okay, values equals to also row. Alright, I need to make a small tweak function here. Store that value inside also row, and then I need to assign also row. So what I can do is, what I can do over here is, what if I just remove that function? Hold it. So it's gonna be the first step. So store that value, second value, and the third value. Create this and through here. The first value is going to be, okay. Submit to data row. Okay. So if I just put this inside this, this is gonna be the function. And I just delete this logic because I don't need it. And what else I can do is I just press tab, so it's inside the function. So let me think of it. So page gets created, text field gets added, data table gets created. Alright. Then after that, there's a list. Step is 0. If someone presses enter in the text field, submitted data for a row, this function gets called. Okay. Current value. This is not being accessed. So what I need to do is make this non-local. Non-local. Current value. Now this should work. It also is a step. Okay, now it's gonna work. This function gets called and step is equal to 0. And then the text field value is going to get stored in the current value. Value, okay, then I just need to show it. Current value. You know, there's actually something else I can do. Current value 1, current value 2, and current value 3. But it's a list. It's a list. Current value. Okay, so when this runs, current value is going to be something, for example, Paul. It's going to get stored in that list. And after that, it's going to come out here and clear the text field, yes. I need to clear the text field after this. Text field dot value. Assign the right thing on to the left. This is the, okay. I'm gonna clear the text field value, which is the part where we're typing, we're actually typing. It's gonna clear the value, update the page. Clear the value, update the page, okay. And then it's gonna look for the second step. So now step is going to be 1. It's gonna clear the page, okay. It's gonna clear the field, update the page, and then I'm gonna type something else. When I type something else, the step is going to be 1. Alright, you get that? When the second time submit is pressed, step is going to be 1, and that's going to store another value, and then you get the idea. Third time step is going to be 2, and then we're going to create a variable. This is going to create a data row. This variable is going to hold a data row. And then inside, I want to add the current value, because that's value is equal to current value. So the value is going to be the current value, okay. Current underscore value. Current value. Alright, there we go. Okay, so, and then what it's gonna do is we're gonna pass this variable. This is gonna hold all the values of the data cells and store them inside the variable row going inside the columns. And then pass that variable here. This is gonna add the rows to the data table, and then let's see if this runs. Yo, it worked. It worked. It actually worked. It actually worked. Oh my gosh, it worked. Okay, so if I type 12, what? No, no, no. This is not how it's supposed to be. What? Okay, okay. It's actually working, but there's an issue in the logic. There's an issue in the logic. It's stuck on step 2. Alright, alright, I get it, I get it, I get it, I get it. I totally get it. It's stuck on step 2. And that is why, okay. That is why, alright. I totally get it. Also want to check something else. So, if I type, the name is going to be Paul, right? And what is going to be the age? 12. Profession, engineer. What? It's only storing the last value. Okay, I know. I know how to solve that as well. I know how to solve that. No problem. Not. This is gonna work. This is gonna definitely. So Paul is the name, right? I press enter, and then the age just 44. Enter, and profession, engineer. So what it's doing is taking the last value and storing that. So I think there's a problem with the storing and stuff, but the rest of the stuff is clear. Also, I need to do something here. Add the rows, page that update, and I want to see it's clearing the value after the third step. It's gonna clear the value after third step. Okay, okay, okay. I need to fix that as well. So Paul, you see it's not clearing the, and then again Paul. And if I type Paul the third time, this is automatically gonna clear the field. No, this is not. It did not clear the field. Where is text field dot clear? It's actually not working. It's broken. The text field dot clear thing is actually broken. You see this? It's not clearing. Okay, so it's overriding every value, so we need to fix that as well. First, let's test it out. So Paul, I press enter. First, let's go step by step and fix a lot. Come on, this is stuck now. Okay, run. Why isn't it not running? Alright, there we go. So if I type Paul here and press enter, it's gonna get started. Okay, and then I'm gonna type 59 age, press enter, and the last value is going to be, let's say, doctor, and when I type doctor, so the last value gets stored in every variable. The last value. So what it's doing is it's overriding in this list. All the variables are not getting stored. They're getting overridden. So how can we fix that? So instead of overriding, we need to append some data to current value. So we can do that. What if we call the append function? What if we call the append function? Like data? No, no, no. Current value, dot append, call the append function. So I'm calling the append function on the current value. But what are we appending? We're appending the text field dot value. Okay, okay. Text field dot value. So I can just erase this because I don't want it to be overridden. I want it to be appended, right? And then take this and put it here, and put it here as well. So this should actually add the values. Okay, current value that append. Alright, now let's see if this works. So if I add Paul, press enter, age 50, press enter, and then type doctor. So this actually worked. But there's still a slight small problem. It's appending the entire data 3 times. It's appending the entire data 3 times. Why is that happening? Paul 50 and doctor. So we know that whatever you type here, right? That's gonna get stored in this. Paul 50 and doctor. Okay. Current value that append. So current value is gonna hold. Okay. Oh, okay. This gets the whole list. This gets the whole list. Instead, it needs to get the first value from the list. I get it. I get it now. So what this is doing is that I'm gonna type Paul. I typed Paul first time. It got stored in the current value. Then I typed 50 got stored in current value. Then I typed doctor. It's got stored in this list. It has 3 values, and it's a list. This gets the list with the 3 variables. Then this data cell gets the values with its 3 variables, and then this list, and then this data cell is going to have Paul, 50, and doctor. So every data cell is having all 3 things. Instead, I just needed to get individual values. How do I do that? I need to fix this. So it's going to be a list. Values equal current value. Maybe what if I use the index number? 0. This is going to be 1. What if I use the index number? Is that going to work? 0, 1, and 2. From the current value, it's going to pick the first thing, and then from the current value, it's going to be the second thing. And what if, so if I run this, let's see if it works. So, okay, it did not run. And now let's run it. Okay, so let's type Paul, and then press enter, and then 50 years old, and then press enter, and then let's type doctor. So it actually worked. We have Paul. It actually worked. Oh my gosh, this actually worked. So you know, I typed 3 things, right? Paul got stored here, 50 got stored, and doctor got stored here. So is it possible to do it without the index values? Like a for loop? The first problem is fixed. It's working. It's actually working. This logic works. Let's fix the second thing, which is text field value.clear. Then it's gonna come out here. Value equal to this. Let me see where I'm wrong. This is the function. Okay. I get it now. So the text field value should work here. So the text field value clearing stuff should be okay by now. So let's run the program. So whenever I type a value, it should automatically clear it. Because it's inside the function now. The second function, not the first. So if I just type Paul here, yep, it's working. It is totally working. I press 40, it works. And I type a profession near, it's working. Alright, so it does work. We can add so much more to this table. Okay, and let's see. Also, I think there's another problem with the table. There's another problem. It's like, whatever I type, so All this and ABC. So if I type something else, DETL. So you see the problem? It's still storing the same thing. You see that? That's happening because the last values are not getting, because the values are not getting cleared. Clear the value. Please not update. Update the page and also clear the values of everything. Current value is equal to this. And bring back the step to 0. Do I need to bring the step to 0 again? So after the last step, everything's going to get appended, and then if I don't set it to 0, the step is still going to be 2, right? Every step is still going to be 2. Because this is out of the function call. It's still going to be 2. When the fourth time, so 1, 2, 3. After the fourth time, add the fourth time, the step is going to be 2. So this function is going to execute, and it's going to store the last value. Okay. So I think I understand now why this is doing that. So, okay, look. What's happening over here is like RR, okay, profession is just anything. Oh, this is not working now. Okay. There's a bit of a problem. After this is gonna happen in this. After, okay. Update the page. I need to take all of this, no, just this, into the third step. And the third step. Now this should work. This should work. After the third step, current value. This is gonna, the list is again gonna be empty. Because if it's not empty, it's going to contain all the 3 values. So no matter what I type in that, the first 3 values are going to get stored again. They're going to get shown to me again, like what happened last time. But now doing this, it's not going to, it's just going to fix the problem. Step is going to go back to 0. It's going to start from ground 1. So this is actually going to work. So if we run this program, it should work. If I type Paul, and then age 50, and it works. And if I type Alice, 30, doctor, it works. And anything, well again, age 60, and singer. You see, the problem is gone. It's totally gone. And Parker, age 70, and then scientist. Alright, so the problem is solved. The problem has been solved. So this works. So what else can be added to the table? Maybe a sign up and login field. So let's add that as well. And we can add that before the text field. Let's add okay, a sign up and login thing. Alright. So it's gonna be sign up. Hold on. First, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a text, And that's gonna say hello. Um, that's gonna say hello. That's just gonna say hello. Let's call this the greeting. I'm gonna call this the greeting. And then add this to the page. Just simply add this to the page. Hello. Alright. Let's bring it to the center. We want to decorate it. Let's see that text. Okay, that's the text. How do I style it? Can I add something here? Oh, is this a class or is it a method? It's a class. It takes a value. So let's call this value is equal to this. What else does it have? Value spans text align. Alright, text align. Let's do that. Text align is equal to center. ft dot text align maybe dot center. Okay, let's see if it works. That center, that did not work. This should work. I don't know why this is not working. A text align, maybe take it to the end. Let's try to take it to the end. Let's see if it works. Text align should be at the end. It should. The text should move. The text is not moving. I don't know why. What else does this thing have? Font family size weight. Does it have alignment? It has so many things that we can use. Span, text align. Text align. Text align. Should work. I don't know why it's not working. I don't get it. Value. Takes a value. Okay, hello. Spans, text align. Underscore align. Text align is equal to C dot text align. Maybe it's like this. C dot text align. And then hold on. Let me see. Call self as a function. Hold it. Hold on. Let me. If I just take it to this side, let's see that text line, and then text line is equal to maybe center text underscore align. No, that is not gonna work. Text line. What about center? What about center? What about center? Is this gonna work? Let's see. Is text align center gonna work? Let me see. No, it is not working. It is not working. Alright, let's see if the alignment property is actually going to work on this. Because the text align thingy is not working for some reason. I do not know why this is not working. Unexpected keyword argument, yeah. Alignment. Text does not take this. It's not taking this. Gotta do something else, maybe add a row. Add a row, I guess. ft.row. Let's just add a row, okay? And let's put the text inside it. Let's put the text inside the row, and then that's it. Maybe now, the row is, now can we add alignment? Alignment is equal to main, hold it, t dot main axis alignment dot center. So this is gonna center the row, right? Or is it gonna center the children in the center? Text object is not iterable. This is so weird. Alright, ChatGPT, tell us, do your magic. Where am I going wrong? So this whole thing works. What I can figure out is how to decorate the hello text simply without dot row. Okay, here's an example. Yeah, this is exactly what I was doing. No, there's a difference. Okay, values equal hello. Alignment is equal to main.center. Maybe there isn't enough space, I guess. Is that it? Okay. Text doesn't take that. Oh, look at that. My typing is just crazy. It doesn't take alignment, I guess, because it's giving me an error. Well, what is ChatGPT gonna do? Well, it does not support the parameter to center unique reference at a row and the layout to like column that handles alignment. Alright. Let's just use row for now. And let's see what happens. Okay, let's see row. Oh, I was missing some controls. Is it possible to decorate the ft.text without a row? Alright. Flet text widget itself does not support direct alignment. Or you still want to apply decoration? Okay, so we can decorate it, but it doesn't. But we can't use alignment on it without a row or column. So yeah, learning is actually the thing here. Does not support alignment on its own. If you want to control the alignment like centering text, you must use a layout widget like row or column. Okay. Oh, there's something interesting for us to learn here. Look, you must use layout widget like row or column. These layout widgets are responsible for positioning their child elements. So ft.text is going to become a child element, and then row and column are going to be the parent, and they can position the child elements. So let's see the row structure. Let's put it inside a row, and let's see how it goes. This is not the row thing, this is over here. Row. Where is row? Here it is. So that row controls. Okay. Come out of the controls. Center alignment of the text horizontal. Okay. Center alignment of the text horizontally. All right. Let's just do what it says. Yeah, we know that it takes controls. Put it inside a list. So what we're doing here is putting the text inside a list. Let's delete all this. Hello. And what we're going to do is close the list. Alright. First, let's just order things so it becomes clear. And then what we're going to do is... Okay, this is the text. Now we can decorate it. Now let's give it the alignment. Does it have alignment? Yeah, it does have main axis alignment. Okay. So alignment is equal to main axis. Now we need the flet. We need to take this out of the flet. So main axis alignment is sitting inside the flet module. And from the main axis alignment thing, we can take out center. So this should work. Also, if you're confused about the bracket, this is over here. You see this? So it worked. Hello worked. But I don't want to do that for now. I was just testing it out. We want to because we're gonna add two text fields, and we're gonna tell them enter user name and password, right? We're gonna ask them to enter the username and the password. And we're gonna add this. Without greeting. Well, then what we're gonna do is we're gonna add the first text field. Okay, and ft dot text field. And then we're gonna add a label here. Label is equal to username. Username is gonna be first. And then add it to the page. First text field. Then take the second text field. And then ft from the Flet library, from the Flet module, take out text field, because text field is specifically inside the Flet module. We need to access it. And then give it a label. I'm going to call it a password, because we're asking users to enter two things here. Alright. And then add it, obviously add it to the page. Add it to the page, second text field. So if I run this, there it is. Username. This is, you can see the label. Here it is. Yeah, well, we should also give to our text field a label as well. This is our text field. Give it a label. Label is equal to, let's call it enter name, age, and profession. Put a comma. This is going to be the second, on-submit is going to be the second parameter, and label is going to be the first parameter. And if we run this, hopefully this is going to work. So let's try it out. Let's try it out. Alright, so I want to do something cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to display the data table only if the username and password have been entered, right? So what I'm going to do is I don't need to store it. Yeah, I need to store them somewhere. But what I can do is create a list, right? So this we just added. You just need to think about the logic here. This is the username and password. I'm going to store the username and password somewhere as well. User is, okay. User is going to add something to the first text field. So first text field first text field, yeah, dot value. Store it inside first text field value. So store it inside this, right? And then store the value for this inside another variable for the second. Okay. So second text field value is equal to second. You can name it anything, alright? The variable. Second text field dot value. Alright, so values have been stored. It's going to store the value and ft.text field. Okay, this is a text field, comma, if text field dot if text field if first text field dot value is equal to empty. If it's empty, right? What I'm going to do is, hold on, why isn't this working? Expression violence. So this is not working. If is not working here. Hold on, what if I press enter? Nope, it's not working. If is not going to work here. Okay, since if is not working here, store the value. Add it. And then if, maybe I can just do it here. The first text field that value is equal to, if it's empty, then tell the user to, I want to add a snack bar. SNACK. See that snack bar? Okay, so it takes a content. Hold on, let me see what the snack bar takes. The snack bar, it takes content, which is a control. This can be content is the control. So this is going to be ft.text. And the value, so the value is going to be, please enter something. Please enter something. This is going to be the value. Add a colon here, so it's gone. What's this? Oh, maybe this is an indentation error. Yes, there is. Okay. So if it's empty, it's going to tell the user to enter a value. Please enter something in first text in. Please enter username, because that's the first text field. And what it's going to do is, once the user types it, store inside this. That's it. And I want to do the same thing over here, right? So if second text field dot value is empty, it's empty, right? I want the snack bar to come here. Alright, snack bar. Working magic, you take the content. I'm giving you the content. Take the content and what is this? Take the content, equate it to ft.text. So you might have noticed for new watchers until now that the text class, or because I'm new to Flet as well, I don't know if this is a widget, is it a controller or something? So I'm just calling it the class, the text class, right? So the text class can only be accessed through the Flet module. This is the Flet module, an alias. That is why I'm using ft.text. So I'm going to give text a value. I'm going to call it please enter. Please enter password. And that is going to enter the password if it's empty. And this is out of the scope of if. I want to bring this back to the scope. And that's it. Once the user enters, that's it. Press the value. No, wait. I need to put this inside else. Else. Because, yeah. If it's empty, it's going to tell the user to print something. If it's not empty, and I only want it to do this on submit. Else on submit, what is it going to do? On submit is equal to yeah, I'm going to use lambda, you know, for the function calling and stuff. It's going to call a function called submit second field. This is going to be submit password. Right, it's going to be submit password. That's it. What is that? What that's going to do is, and I need to define that here. So define the submit password function over here. Inside it, I'm gonna put this. So what that's gonna do is, so if the password field is empty, it's gonna tell the user to add something. If it's not empty, it's gonna wait for the user to submit. And once it's submit, it's gonna call this function and store that the value of the text field, second text field inside this. And I want to do the same for define submit username. I want to do the same for this. So if like this is gonna be the first text field, yeah. First text field. Value. Assign the right thing to the left. First text field. Dot value. Second text field, and where is it first? Yeah, there it is. Okay. So this should work. Give some spacing so I know what is what. Alright. Summon password. Okay. And I want to do this over here. Second text field, and this is going to be the first text field. Okay. Some spacing. Alright. This is stuff for the first text field. This is and this is the stuff for the second text field. Alright. And just put this inside else. Alright, so let me tell you the logic is very simple. I just created a text field with a label that says username and added to the page, right? Let me put a spacebar. Then after that, define a function called submit username. Hold on, I forgot to put the on submit. Yeah, okay, okay. Else, I forgot. On underscore submit. So on submit, what is it gonna do? It's gonna call. It's gonna call the submit. This is for the first text field. So first text field is the username. And there we go. So what's gonna do is gonna add the text field with a label called username. So what's gonna happen next? This is not gonna run. It's gonna skip this. If the text field is empty, it's gonna ask the person a username. If it's not empty, it's gonna wait for the person to press enter. Okay, it's gonna when someone types something, it's gonna enter that thing, and when he presses enter on submit, this function is gonna call. This function is then gonna store that value inside this field, and the same goes for the second one. You get the idea, right? Now what I'm gonna do, since the password and everything logic is done, I wanna. So now this is the fun part. You know, there's so much beautiful stuff you can do with if else. There are so many beautiful things. So this part, I'm gonna put all this inside an if. All this stuff is only gonna work. Hold it. No. And then we have the text field. I paste that out. Okay. Yeah, okay. If hold it. So first text field value. So if first text field value oh, okay, there's another problem. I need to define first text field value somewhere. I need to define it somewhere before I can use it. This is not getting, you see this color change? That's not good. Hold on. So you see the, so now what's gonna happen? I need to fix the variable scope. This is only being accessed inside this function, so I need to make it non-local so that it can be accessed other places as well. First text field. This is non-local. Now you see it's still blue. I need to first define it somewhere. So I can do that over here. So first text field. I'm gonna keep it empty initially. So now you can see the color of the. Oh, it's first text field. Oh my gosh. I made a mistake again. This is first text field value. Oh my gosh. You see the amount of errors, scope errors there can be? First text field is going to be first text field value. There we go. What is this? Yeah, I need to declare it as well. It says no binding for non-local. So it's not been, there is no initial value, I guess. There's no initial value. So first text field value. Let's give it a value, and first text field value is equal to. So now hopefully the error should be gone. It is gone. I need to do the same for the other one as well, which is this. You see that dark blue? It's not being used anywhere. It's not being accessed anywhere, I mean. So make it non-local, so it's not local to this function. It can be used everywhere in the code. Second text field value. And then I need to no binding. So there is nothing initially. Initially, what is there? Initially, it should be empty. Second text field value. It's initially going. You know, we can also use non-none but I don't actually know properly how to use that. But this I know it's going to be empty initially. Hold on. Also row is not being used anywhere. What is this? Hold on, let me see where also row is. Yeah, we're not using also row anywhere. We're not using it anywhere. Why do I even have that? Why do I even have that? Also, I have a small error here. No. I need to make that logic later on. I'm not even using also row. Let's just take it out of here. Alright, now let's fix the if. Now let's work on the logic of the if. Alright, so if first text field value, if there is something inside it, right? Which probably by this time, until this time, there should be a value. Initially it should be empty, and then it should have a value. So if it does have a value, what are we going to do? We're going to put everything inside this. Inside the if. We're going to put everything inside this. There we go. Put everything inside this, right? If it has a value, it's only gonna show us this thing. Else, what is it gonna do? Else it is going to show us a snack bar. ft dot snack bar. It's gonna show us a snack bar. What does the snack bar take? Content, alright. Content takes content. And we are, controls ft dot text. We're gonna give it a value if, so we're gonna say, please enter in order to access the data table. In order to access data table. This is an indentation error. It can be fixed. What? Where is if? Oh, if is over there. If is way over there. Sometimes we need to manually fix the indentation because that can cause chaos. That can cause so much chaos, bros. Okay, so if is corresponding with else. Data table. In order to access the data table. Alright. So, now let's see if this works. No. There is actually one more logic. What? There's actually one more thing that I missed. If there is a value in this and there is a value in second text field, only then is it going to show us. So there needs to be a value in both of them. Once there is a value in both of them, we're going to access this. Okay, now let me just run this. Snack bar? Name snack bar. Okay, I don't know about that error, so we're going to ask. Flet has no attribute named. Why am I getting this error? Snack bar? What? It's a lower B? Oh my gosh. No, no, no. There is a snack bar somewhere else. Hold it. Yeah, this is it. This is it. Alright, so now it's with a small b, it's actually capital B. Okay. Yo, it worked. This is, I'm keep it as empty. Keep it as empty. Oh, that didn't work. So, Paul. That's weird. Okay, so so my logic. Hold it, hold it, hold it. There is something wrong with my logic. It is working, but I need to fix the if logic. What does the if mean in this? What is it doing? We need to understand like what it means. So maybe my logic was wrong for the if. Come on, what is it doing? If non-empty, I specifically. This is a value enter username. If have non-empty true. If here's however, if both contain non-empty strings, they will evaluate as truth. Condition will be true. If either is an empty string, the condition will be false. It will be execute. Okay. Yeah, but it's still not. What is this? Okay, it's still not showing the data table, even though I type values in both. What is wrong with my keyboard? Alright, there we go. There we go. Okay, you're checking the values when the page is loaded, but the issue might be that you're trying to access the values before the user actually submits them. Okay. The values in the text view widgets like this only update when the user submits the form or when you manually set them. What is wrong today? What's likely happening? When the page is first loaded, these values are empty because you haven't captured their values yet. Okay. Condition is evaluated before the user enters. What? It's being evaluated before the user enters any values. It's initially empty. Alright, I get that. And then it's initially empty. Alright. Initially empty, I get that. Then what happens is summit runs. No, it does not. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Are you telling me this if block is getting executed before any of this? Oh, okay, okay. I need to fix the logic here. I need to figure out like what should be first, what should be second. So obviously they're both empty. It's not gonna work. This condition is evaluated before the user enters any value, so it doesn't pass a check, and data table isn't shown. Okay, this is initially empty, and so that means it's skipping everything and just going to this. Hmm. So what I do in order to fix this? How do I fix this? I can add an if condition. Okay, there is actually a way to do this. There is actually a way to do this. initially they're going to be empty, right? And it's going to run this, and okay, he's at our first text field. Now let me see. Look. So if first text field value is equal to empty, right? Which is, it actually is empty at the start. Value is empty at the start, right? What it's going to do is, if it's empty, right? Which is initially it is. I'm trying to stop it from going to the first if. What it's going to do is it's going to run this. If it's empty, it's going to run this if. Please enter username. Okay. And I can have both of them. And this sets your value is equal to this as well. Okay, so this should work for both. It's going to run all this. Okay. But if it's not empty, if it is not empty, that means look, this is the if. That means everything goes inside this. This is the first if, and then here is the second else. Alright, so this should work. Let me just close this. And let me erase the if over here. I don't need this again. Let me cut this whole thing. Okay. And go to the else. Paste it over here. So I see the problem. Oh my gosh, what did I just do? I don't know how to fix the indentation on this, so I'm just gonna chat GPT to do that. Only fix the indentation in this for the last else. Alright, so let's see if it can fix the indentation. Okay, so probably fix the indentation. It's so weird, it's not working. gosh. There are so many problems with this code. I'm sorry about that. Please hold on a minute. Alright, so what I can do is like, first I need to fix the first if. Okay. You know what? I don't know how to fix the indentation on this. Actually, so this is the first if. Okay, okay, I get it now. I totally get it. I totally get it now. I know where I'm going wrong. This is out of the if, which is why it is giving the error. Okay. Alright, now the else should work. Okay, else is at the correct place. Wow, this is gonna take some time. If anybody can tell me in the comments how to, if you have a quick fix for this, this is like takes loads of time. Oh my gosh. Did I just make something disappear? Yeah, this is gonna take quite a lot of time. right. Well, the errors are all gone, but I need to fix the scope. I need to fix the scope now. I need to fix the scope. Okay, so this gets added, okay. Next field, and the data table is created, and the rows and all that stuff, and that gets added. Okay. The data table gets added here. What happens next is current value, okay. This is all inside the function. I might need to fix this as well. Okay, and there we go. Okay, this is all cool. So so this, let me see if it is under the function. Yes, it is. It's out of the elif. Okay, so this should now work. Now let me check the logic. Let me check the logic of this. Okay. Everything is empty. We have a greeting. Hello, hello. Okay. And then we have the first text field. Okay. Where is the second text field? No, no, no. This is for this. Okay. Username. First text field. This is actually supposed to be inside this. Where is the second text field? It's over here. Forgot to add this inside it. Oh my gosh. There we go. There it is. Okay. Okay, greetings, enter username. Okay, so both of them are going to be empty. So it should run this. It's going to add this, and what's going to happen is It's only gonna both are empty. Okay. If first is gonna be empty, or empty, obviously gonna check both of them. First is gonna be empty. Yes. Enter username, and then it's gonna call this store on submit. You know what? I think I might have done a big problem here. A really, really, really big problem because on submit was actually not being called. Let me just paste this code here. On submit was actually not working. A really, really, really big problem. On submit is actually else. So that is the reason. I made a big problem. I made a big, big, big thing. Second text field. This is why it was not being submitted. Second text field is this, which has the actual text field. Now I need to find the first text field. Here it is. And I need to put this inside this. Alright, so if there's a value, hold on, let me think of the logic. This is a variable. If it's empty, it's going to tell username. It's going to tell the user to enter something. If it's not, but also it's going to first text field. This is a text field. Also, we're going to store this inside the variable text field. Okay. Let's see if this works. Well, it didn't work. It's not showing us the data table. You're checking for the values before they're actually submitted or updated by the user. You know, there's actually a function before this of how, this is, hold on. This is it. This is the one, hold it. This is the actual one. So these two conditions, is validated before, okay. The if condition is evaluated before the user enters any values, so it doesn't pass the check. And the data table isn't shown. After user actually entered. Okay, password field. So this might actually work. Yeah, because it put it inside a function. Uh, show the page initially, alright? Okay, it's working. It's working. It actually works. Well, let me see what it did. This is the same as mine. It's our greeting username field. It was actually a very simple check, which I was not able to do it. This is the username field okay, second password field okay. 7 username, 7 password. 7 username, same thing. 7 password, same thing. Except for new function check fields. If both of them have, so it's gonna be called okay. Oh, I get it. Oh, this is a function. I get it. I totally get it now. Show the page initially. Hold it. This is out of the function. This is actually this page. Alright. Why is page.update out of this function, right? That's what I don't understand. Out of this function, yeah, it's over here. Show the page initially. Okay. Page that update. Show the initial page. Okay. Otherwise, it would not show the page initially. So if I remove this, is it not going to show the page? It actually is showing the page. See that? We don't need to page that update, I guess. Well, I can fix the snack bar thing later. Not a problem. Okay, so yeah, here it is. The greeting gets added, first field added, second field added. What happens next is when I press enter on the first one, it's going to call the submit username. It's going to put the values, and then it's going to check field. This check field. But we know that the first field is enter, first field has a value, second field is still empty, so it's not going to show the data table. And then when I press enter on the second one, it calls that, I get it, and then it calls this function again, data table, check values. But it is, and this time it has a value, so both of them have values. Until that, it's going to keep saying, please enter both username this. But since on the second try, both are going to get entered, and it's going to call the function data entry form table, and that's it. We have the form data table. Okay, this is really simple. Let me fix the snack bar. So, look here. Let me press enter here, and enter here. There we go. Sorry. Let me press enter. Alright, so that works. It works. So let me show you the last result clearly. This is it. So this is the last final result. Let me scroll from the top to the bottom, the code for Flet function greeting row. I'm going one by one. Hold on, let me start again. Okay, 3, 2, 1, and we go. Here we go. I'm gonna scroll down slowly, one at a time. Here it is. That is the whole code for the data table, and it has a log username and password field as well, where you can enter stuff. And if I run it, it is going to run. Because, come on, run. Where is it? There we go. Enter, and there it is. There it is. There we go. It works. This is the final result. Well, that's it for the video. This is the final result. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. And this is the project which I tried to make. Somehow it was made, and this is the final result. What is this? A username and password field, and a data table below. So yeah, it was a data table with a username and password fields, but the data table only shows if the username and password have been filled. Otherwise, it does not show the data table, so it's hidden until that time. It only shows up after filling. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Thank you for stopping by. Have a nice day. Bye bye everybody. Bye bye.